Fighters, the #1 security program on television.
Welcome to your #1 security program on television, Crime Fighters, the police and you. Policing a zone where you have Lagos and Ogun State is not an easy task, judging from the level of commercial activities that takes place in the zone, particularly Lagos State being the commercial nerve center of the country. Playing host to millions of Nigerians from all over the country, including foreigners who come into Lagos for different reasons, for business, in search of greener pastures, and of course to commit crime. Crime Fighters interview with the Assistant Inspector General of Police, Zone 2, MD Abubakar, reveals what the police is doing to battle crime and criminality in the zone. On our crime scene segment, we bring you the story of Gabriel Emmanuel, a member of a robbery syndicate who specializes in highway robbery. Sit back, relax, and watch, as you may have one or two things to learn. I'm Francis Owiro. Welcome once again to Crime Fighters, the police and you. You're welcome to another edition of our interview segment, and today we'll be speaking with the Assistant Inspector General of Police, Zone 2, in the person of Mr. MD Abubakar. You're welcome to the program, sir.
Thank you very much.
Sir, policing a zone responsible for the security of the commercial nerves of Nigeria is not an easy task. How have you been coping?
Thank God, and thanks go to so many other people. But let me start with the fact that policing is a very challenging service, and Lagos in particular being not only the nerve center, the commercial nerve center, the capital of Nigeria in terms of commercial activities. This is a place where you have the seaport, the land borders, the air. So it's complex in its nature. One, because the population is much. You're talking about between 18 and 21 million in the city. And approximately from here to Abeokuta, which is part and parcel of the zone, you cannot be able to say the difference between Lagos and Ogun State, except you know where the demarcations are. So you find that we are faced with so many challenges. We have most of the embassies here in Lagos. Most of the embassies are in Lagos, and most of the corporate headquarters of the banking industry, some of the big conglomerates are all here. And so it gives us a lot of challenges that has to do with crime in particular, that has to do with robbery, car snatching, and theft. Not kidnapping per se, that we can boast and beat our chest to say that in the area of kidnapping we have been very, very alert, and God has been on our side, has been successful, for the fact that we had about 3-4 cases of kidnapping, and they were all successful. In fact, if you could remember, some of the cases of kidnapping were arrested here in Lagos State by Lagos State Police Command, where kidnappers even kidnapped somebody somewhere else and they ran to Lagos and they were arrested here. So that's to say that that has not been much of a problem for us in the zone.
Lagos is a major gateway into this country via the air and sea port. How safe are these ports in view of criminal activities and terrorist threats?
Well, when you say port, you're talking about seaport, or you're talking about the airports, because there are two different. In view of the happenings, look, crime can happen anywhere in the world. What you need to do is step up your security measures take the challenges as they come and be able to monitor and continue to gather intelligence and information relevant to those crimes that are very prominent within the society. Act of terrorism is rather new in this country. We are not taking any chances, but you can see the act of government immediately. Security have been stepped up in all the major airports in this country, and we in Lagos do not take chances of the fact that it cannot happen here, and that is why you can see in collaborative effort with the federal government and the state government, you can see the kind of security measures being put in Lagos State in particular, and by extension Ogun State has its own security measures too, so to complement the efforts of Lagos being the commercial nerve center of this country. And that's why when you go around, you see vehicles on strategic places kept as observation points, and the men do random stop and search that is based on information or any little intelligence we have. And if you go to the airport, the airport have been able to provide certain number of security equipments good enough for them to be able to curtail some of this act of terrorism. And you can see the Inspector General of Police, because he believed in the fact that something must be done very quickly, and he has directed that the anti-terrorist squadron unit should be moved to the airport to reinforce the security of the airports from the entrances to the outer premises of the airport, and that has been done very quickly and swiftly. The Commissioner of Police in charge of the airport is because of the government belief that airport is a very important place. The government upgraded the airport command to a full-fledged command, with the Inspector General of Police has posted a Commissioner of Police competent enough to be able to handle the place. And I do know that I was privileged to work in the airport too. I do know that the airport authority too are not taking the challenges lightly. They are doing everything humanly possible to ensure that their own officers and men are trained to be able to do what is right in terms of providing security, searches, manual searches, and through all the scanners and the machines that are supposed to be provided.
Talking about security for this zone, I know it's not an easy task. So what are your challenges in fighting against crime and criminality?
Well, the word adequate is in relative terms, because you could, I would rather say, the needed security probably we need to provide. Personally, yes, we have the personnel to be able to provide the needed security. If we have about 35,000 policemen in Lagos, and I think for a city of 20 million, 35,000 is good enough to be able to. And when you talk of equipments, you will agree with me that the Lagos State Governor, who is a very passionate person when it comes to policy, safety, and security matters in this country, and in Lagos in particular, has done very greatly in the area of assisting the police to ensure that safety of life and property become paramount and important to this administration. That is why the PPA program came in, where we have private partnership with the government of the state and the citizens and the police itself, where vehicles have been provided by through the private partnership. You can see the 500 vehicles provided by the state government. You can see the armored personnel carriers. Just recently, you can see 2 helicopters were brought in for security patrols, for crime control and management, for traffic control and management, and for disaster management. And it could equally be used for executive movement. That's to show the level of understanding the level of concern by the state government for its people, and collaboratively the federal government through the Inspector General of Police have done so much in the area of arms and ammunition, ensuring that the nitty-gritty in terms of arms and ammunition that is needed to be able to fight crime is being provided to the officers and men. So we cannot run away from the fact that presently we have something that we should be able to use to fight crime and act up criminality and chase criminals after this place. And that's why you see we have less crime in the zone. And that's not to run away from the fact that crime is not static, so therefore modernization in terms of equipment is equally not static, but upgradement is always the in thing. And so from time to time we expect that the government should upgrade equipments of the security agencies to be able to perform more efficiently and effectively in discharge of the quality service that they expect to give to the citizens of the state.
Proliferation of arms and ammunition in the society have been identified as the root causes, as one of the root causes of violent crime in the society. What has the zone done to mop up illegal arms in the society?
Well, you see, illegal arms in circulation is a very big challenge. Challenge in the country where you have, or in a state where you have sea borders, land border and air border, you have a great challenge, because you need to monitor how these people come in with different kind of things, If we are able to take the issue at the airport where we have scanners and the rest of it, what happens at our borders, land borders? Do we have the scanners there? Major challenge. The customs are there. How does the custom conduct searches in all the number of trailers, thousands of them that come in from either Nigeria Republic or any of these countries that is our neighbors? These are major challenges. And except we do that, we cannot be able to control and say that effectively we can say that we know the number of arms and ammunition coming. So, and when you go to Same border, you can have 1,790 something illegal routes, which probably are not manned. It's pretty difficult for you to be able to man these. But if you have an entry point where you have scanners, equipment that should be able to screen and tell you who has metal in his position or any devices, it will be good enough. But today, we do all this manually. The custom does that manually. The police does that to some level with these mirror scanners. But we are advancing in the world. We need more than that. We need equipment that can be able to detect things very easily, very effectively, and very swiftly without waste of time. So these are some of the major challenges. And we go sniffing around, sniffing in the sense that to get information, I talk about the area of information between the citizens and the police. If you realize that ABCD has arms in his possession, probably because there are some of them who do, sometimes for an act of ignorance, wake up in the morning or in the night, at night, and just shoot their gun and go back to bed. To them, they are alerting the criminals that, hey, don't come here, we are armed. But the big question is, are you legally armed or illegally armed? And from experience, we have seen people brandishing guns and all sorts of things, even though those of these guns were given to them legally for them to be able to use for gaming. Unfortunately, because of our circumstances, the insecurity of our circumstances that we found ourselves, people now use it to think that they are able to protect themselves, which they cannot.
The police and you, the Nigeria Police Force, more people friendly. Crime Fighters, the police and you.